But I want to find out, what do you think Dangote is doing differently this time?
Well, when you say differently, in terms of,
In terms of raising capital, of course.
Okay, so yeah, we know he's the industry leader, and when you're industry leader, a lot of things that happen is they get complacent and they start to relax. But I think he's trying to show that I'm not going to relax. Yes, my finance cost is low, but I'm still going to even push it down further to actually improve on my own internal efficiency. So that's actually something that stands out for this particular instrument.
Okay, let's understand, of course, the impact this is going to have going forward. I mean, you're going to actually find this on what the FMDQOTC to go forward as against, of course, going through the banks, like would actually know. Talk us through how this is really going to play out and the impact it's going to have on investors. How are they positioning for what is going to be playing ahead in the next few days?
Okay, so it's going to go on the FMDQ platform by July 19th. Yeah, that's later this month. But what I even want us to even look at is, so Dangote, a lot of banks look to finance a lot of Dangote's working capital requirements, capital expansion and the likes. And with this now, there's kind of like a diversion of funds. So I would like us to look at the impact of these funds not coming from the banks and actually going somewhere else.
And that's why I asked about what he's doing differently this time.
Okay, so I'm sure maybe just imagine 50 billion naira going to SMEs. That would actually help output tremendously. So that's actually good for the economy. All
right then. But that's Dangote on one side. He's also going forward, of course, to open up the warehouse in Owerri to begin as well. I mean, to capture that particular area. Yeah, a lot of expansion going on. And talking about expansion, we have CCNN and Kalambaina actually merging. Talk us what you think about this merger and what's really going to play out. What are investors really going to see with what Dangote is pulling through and what CCNN and Kalambaina are doing at the moment?
So from what is happening now, we can definitely say that the industry is actually consolidating.
Yes.
So I won't be surprised if we see more brownfield acquisitions in the future. CCNN currently has a capacity through Sokoto Cement of about 500,000 tons, and they are merging with a company that has about 1.5 million tons of production capacity. That is actually going to boost their output by 4 times. Yeah. So 4 times, I'm thinking they are going to penetrate the northern region, which is where their main market is, and that will actually help to even improve on their cost.
Is it clear to say that, of course, CCNN is going to be the producer to beat in the coming months? Kalambaina is a subsidiary of BUA, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, talking about, of course, increase in production and expansion, is that the company to look out for in Nigeria cement space going forward?
Well, if we talk in terms of capacity, just in Nigeria alone, Dangote has a production capacity of almost 30 million tons. Lafarge also has about 10 million tons, and with this, it brings CCNN to about 2 million tons. So
they're way behind there, though.
Yeah, they're still behind, but there's something that is important. So when you consolidate like this, you get 2 benefits. There's economies of scale, and then there's economies of scope. So economies of scale definitely relates to cost, but scope is actually the more important one, where you talk about technical competence and you also talk about your brand equity and goodwill, which will actually help the company in penetrating.
Well, the merger hasn't gone through yet. I mean, that's still subject to of course,
approval from the regulatory
and
authorities.
Shareholders as well. How do you see them, reacting to this?
It's a good one, considering output is actually going to increase. And if you look at the industry is quite peculiar. There's actually, should I say, a tug of war between CCNN and Dangote, especially in the north, which is basically their major stronghold. So it's actually going to be interesting going forward.
Where's Lafarge in all of this?
So Lafarge, the merger has actually been of, should I say, of a mixed effect for Lafarge. So since the merger took place in Q4 last year, things haven't really improved for the company. So even revenue was flat, and their loss position actually even worsened. But this is really tied to some one-off items. So they had, impairments, which was about 20 billion, which is a one-off item, and also the administrative costs in terms of the merger, AGMs, and also the integration cost of bringing all the all the subsidiaries and all the companies they merge with. So I think that's really, so I think going forward, maybe later, say Q4, I think they should actually bounce back.
Well, clearly Dangote is still the leading, cement manufacturer going forward at the moment. But then, like you said, there's going to be a very healthy competition coming up, of course, especially in the north. If you were to, advise investors today on how to position themselves for what's playing out in Nigeria's cement industry today, what would be your take?
Okay, so I'll pick a parameter. Look at the industry's net debt to EBITDA. If you look at Dangote has a net debt to EBITDA of about 0.56%. What that means is that Dangote can actually settle all his debt in terms of borrowings and the likes in less than 200 days with its current operations. When we go to Lafarge, it's a different story. Lafarge has a debt to EBITDA of about 4 times, which means it could take them about 4 years to actually settle their debts with the current operations. And the CCNN, which is the new kid on the block, interestingly, their net debt to EBITDA is negative. That is even way more interesting, because it means with their current cash, they can settle all their debts. So I won't be surprised if even CCNN comes to the market to say they want to actually increase their leverage, which I think investors should actually watch out for.